So let me give a historical context to this chapter. I think you all know what is a quadratic polynomial. What is a quadratic polynomial? Anybody? A polynomial with degree 2 is called as quadratic polynomial. That means, suppose you have such a polynomial which is with degree 2. So this is called as a quadratic polynomial. Now this quadratic polynomial becomes an equation. This quadratic polynomial becomes an equation when ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Okay, this is polynomial. This is not an equation, this is an expression, a polynomial. But when that expression becomes an equation, we call this a quadratic equation. Is everybody clear on that? The zeros of quadratic polynomial, what we speak, are called the roots here. What alpha and beta are called in a quadratic polynomial? These are called as zeros. But in quadratic equation, what are alpha and beta called? Roots. Am I clear on this? Am I clear? So let me bring back a little bit of historical context into this. So you would be very proud to know that the first general solution for a quadratic expression or a quadratic equation was given by an Indian astronomer and mathematician whose name was Brahmagupta. You will find a dedicated video on him and his works in my channel, which is out recently, if you have not seen yet. So this Brahmagupta was a very genius mathematician, quite genius. Actually, many of his works were first translated into Arabic and then into Latin and so on. So Brahmagupta was also the first one to devise negative numbers. See, there was no concept of negative numbers before Brahmagupta in the world. Or negative numbers did not make any sense. Negative numbers did not get any acceptance. But on the contrary, Brahmagupta introduced the concept of negative numbers. He said how it is very important to include the negative numbers to make sensible expressions from coming. Like, suppose you have an equation x square plus x minus 6 is equal to 0. So if you just calculate with middle term factorization, so you will get x square plus 3x minus 2x minus 6 is equal to 0. So we'll get x into x plus 3 minus 2 into x plus 3 is equal to 0. So we'll get x minus 2 into x plus 3 is equal to 0. From here you will be getting x is equal to 2 and x is equal to minus 3. Isn't it so? These are the roots. What happened was, even though somebody could find this expression, they know only one solution here, because there was no concept of negative numbers before Brahmagupta. But Brahmagupta was the first person who introduced this concept of negative numbers, and therefore this solution, a general solution to the equation of Brahmagupta, made much more sense. So what is something special that we are going to study in this chapter? What we are going to study in this chapter is a method that will be used to find the solution, the general solution for any quadratic equation as such. Till now, you have factorized only those quadratic equations which you can do by middle term factorization, isn't it so? Isn't it so? But now I shall be telling you a general method. We will learn a general method in which any quadratic equation is given to you. Any, does not matter. You don't even have to think of doing middle term factorization. You just plug in the values in a formula and get in the answer. This formula was first suggested by Brahmagupta. After that, Brahmagupta announced it in his famous book called as Brahmasputa Siddhanta. From that, there were many Arabian mathematicians who were really very impressed. One of them is Al-Khwarizmi. He was an Arab mathematician in 8th century CE, you can say, in those times. So it was further adopted. So I think the concept of what a quadratic equation is and its roots are clear to you. Suppose I give you an equation: 3x square minus 2 root x plus 8 is equal to 0. Is this a quadratic equation? Very good. Any variable cannot have fractional root. The roots must be whole numbers. I mean, the power of the variables must be whole numbers. The power of the variables here, x to the power something, it can never be any kind of fraction. If it is, it won't be a polynomial. Did you study this? Do you remember this in the polynomials chapter that we have studied? Good. Now if I give you some problems to solve it. Check x plus 1 whole cube is equal to x cube plus x plus 6. Is this quadratic? Is the equation quadratic in nature? Why do you think so? Nah. It may look so, but pierce in it a little more deeply. Where did you see 4 here as the highest power? Who said the highest power is 3? Anybody else? See, something which may look something else at the first instant, it may be completely different. Can anybody recall the formula of x plus 1 whole cube? Anyone? Huh? My God. A plus b whole cube. What is the formula? If you expand it, it will become this. Isn't it so? So a cube plus b cube plus 3a square b plus 3ab square. That is equal to x cube plus x plus 6. Are you seeing that x cube and x cube are getting cancelled? So finally, equation on simplifying becomes like this. So this is a quadratic equation. Is this apparently visible right now? So what is the lesson that you learned? Is there any lesson that you have learned? The lesson is, don't judge something too quick. This can be a life lesson also. Anyway, we are very quick in judgments. Actually, the societal standards that we are born in, they teach us to judge anything very quickly without even properly looking at it. So mathematics in a way can build your character in many different ways. So can you comment on this? X times x plus 3 plus 6 is equal to x plus 2 times x minus 2. Does it look quadratic to you? Check whether this is quadratic or not. Okay, so let's crack it. So anytime you are saying something, you need to simplify it. So x square plus 3x plus 6 is equal to x square minus 4. X square gets cancelled. 3x plus 10 is equal to 0. It becomes a linear equation. Do you see this? So this is the first category of questions that can come, that check on whether these are quadratic or not. Before solving a quadratic equation, first you need to see whether an equation is quadratic or not. Isn't it so? All right. Now comes the part when you have already judged whether it is quadratic or not. If it is quadratic, you are required to find a solution. So you already know how to do middle term factorization and solve. Please solve this equation. This is the first one. 8x square minus 22x minus 21, or else wait a minute, 8x square minus 22x minus 21 is equal to 0. Solve these two quadratic equation by middle term factorization. Do you remember middle term factorization? Good. Go for it quickly. See, this is the chapter we are studying. How is 3x minus 2 equal to 0? How come x is equal to 2? If 3x minus 2 equal to 0. 2 by 3 and minus 1 by 2. Very good. Okay. 6x square minus x minus 2 is equal to 0. So the first rule for middle term factorization is multiply these coefficients together. 6 into minus 2 is minus 12. Now how can you factorize minus 12 or divide minus 12 in such a way that this sum comes out to be 1, or rather minus 1? So it will be minus 4 and plus 3, right? So 6x square minus 4x plus 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. Now if you take 2 common from here, you get 3x minus 2, and if you take 1 common from here, you get 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. Therefore you get x is equal to 2 by 3, and also 2x you need to take. X is also equal to 1 by 2. Is this clear to everybody?
Acha, let me solve this. Let me solve this right now. For anybody who did not do, Shikha, did you do this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here, how to solve it? Very simple. Multiply 21 and 8 together. How much does it become? 168. Now you break 168 into two parts such that the sum will be minus 22. So it seems that it is minus 28 plus 6. Okay. From here, you will be getting 4x common. So 2x minus 7 plus 3. 2x minus 7 equal to 0. So x is equal to 7 by 2 and x is equal to minus 3 by 4. Is this clear? Clear to all of you? Solve one last problem. 1 by x plus 3 by 1 by 2x minus 1 is equal to 11 by 7x plus 9. Solve this. It is given that x is not equal to minus 3 or half or minus 9 by 7. Solve it quickly. No, minus 3 will not be there. Not 3. Nobody said 3 won't be there. Minus 3 won't be there.
Here that not equal to sign and minus.
No, minus 3. It's not equal to minus 3. It cannot be minus 3, but it can be 3, right?
3 and minus 17.
Good. Okay. So can you solve this? Cross multiply, take LCM, and you will just solve it. Is this clear? All of you? So I'm not solving this. Okay. So in this way, you have an entire exercise 4A, which you can use to improve or increase your skill to solve quadratic equations. Now, let us get into that part. So you have known what are quadratic equations, what are called the roots of a quadratic equation. You have also known how to use middle term factorization to solve quadratic equations. But what if? What if you can't simply do the middle term factorization? You can't find a middle term factorization by yourself. What do you do then? So here is what you do. You apply a formula. That formula is called as the Sridhar Acharya's rule or Sridhar Acharya's formula. I don't know how many of you have heard that. In English, that is called as quadratic formula, because these people never want to credit us. This is not anger. You don't mistake it as anger. This is just an example of how miserable they are. They don't even find it good enough to give a proper credit at least. There are Heron's formula, there is Joule's law, there is Newton's law. But in saying that this is Brahmagupta's formula or Sridhar Acharya's rule, they have a problem. This is one of the fundamental problems in our education. So, Sridhar Acharya's rule, this is called, it was initially given by Brahmagupta, then it was modified by Sridhar Acharya into what you will be studying today. So how to find a general solution? You have the equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. What do you intend to find? You intend to find the values of x, right? Am I correct? This is the meaning of finding the solution. So how do you find the solution? So you take a common. You get x square plus b by a x plus c by a is equal to 0. You know that a cannot be 0. You know that a cannot be 0 because if a is equal to 0, then this thing cannot be quadratic at the first place. Am I correct? So here, maybe I should mention here that a must not be equal to 0. This is an important criteria. Anyway, so now because a is not equal to 0, can I just cancel it out? So I have x square plus b by ax plus c by a is equal to 0. Now what do? I adjust it a little bit. I have x square, I make it 2 into x into b by 2a. Is that clear? A square plus 2ab plus, I am adding this square. Because I have added the square of b by 2a, which was not there inherently, I have to subtract it also. Plus c by a is equal to 0. Is this clear to you? See, my idea is to separate the constants from the x. Only then I can find the x, right? So what I'm trying is, I have x square here. I am trying to make it a perfect square. This method in NCERT, they will be giving that form a perfect square. This is how you should. So you have x square plus 2a. The moment you write 2 here, you have to produce a 2 here, na? So this terms becomes b by 2a. Now to complete the square, you need to add b by 2a whole square, isn't it so? The moment you added b by 2a whole square, it was not there. So you need to subtract it as well. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Everybody, did you get it?
Yes, sir.
So here I am getting x plus b by 2a whole square. And here I am getting c by a minus b square by 4a square.
Yes, sir.
So now I am getting x plus b by 2a whole square. That is equal to b square by 4a square minus c by a.
Yes, sir.
Now I am taking the LCM of this. See, this entire thing is constant. Are you observing this? This is the way I have separated the variable term from the constant. This is the technique, the golden technique. So this is comes out to be LCM, comes out to be 4a square. You have b square, you have minus 4ac. Now you have x plus b by 2a whole square is equal to this term. So can I get x plus b by 2a is equal to plus minus root b square minus 4ac by 2a? So can I get from here x is equal to minus b plus minus root over b square minus 4ac by 2a? Can I get this? See the idea. Just by putting the value of ABC in this equation, you will get two values of x. What are those? One is minus b plus root over b square minus 4ac by 2a. The other is minus b minus root over b square minus 4ac by 2a. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Clear to you? Everybody? So this is the golden formula that you have to remember. Okay. So suppose you take any one of them. Suppose you take this equation. Okay. 6x square minus x minus 2 is equal to 0. 6x square minus x minus 2 is equal to 0. Suppose you take this equation. What is a here?
6,
6. What is b here?
1,
Minus 1 ray. Ax square plus bx plus c. Okay. What is C here?
-2.
-2. Just plug the value of A, B and C into this formula, you get X. So X is equal to minus of -1, that is minus B, plus minus root over B square minus 4 into A into C divided by 2 into A. That is equal to 1 plus minus root over 1 plus 6 4s are 24, 24 2s are 48 divided by 6 2s are 12. So you have 1 plus minus 48 plus 1 is 49. Root 49 is 7 by 12. So one root comes out to be 1 plus 7 by 12, that is 8 by 12. And 8 by 12 is 2 by 3. The other root comes out to be 1 minus 7 by 12, that is minus 6 by 12, that is minus half. Are you getting my point? Is not this the exact thing that you got from here? Yes?
Yes.
Now don't get addicted to this formula, okay? Only when
Why, sir?
there is nothing asked. See, because at many times you would be told, especially in boards, to find out the solution by completing the perfect square, not directly using this formula. But step-by-step solution to that you might be asked. If you just remember this formula, you will get stuck. Suppose, let me, for example, give you, show a question. Suppose x square minus 4x minus 1 is equal to 0. You can never solve it by middle term splitting or middle term factorization. You can try, but you can never solve, okay? So what comes to my rescue here? The perfect square method. So what I should do? X square, I'm getting here minus 2 into x into 2. Is not this minus 4? Minus 4x, is this minus 4x?
Yes.
So x square minus 2x into 2, so plus 2 square I should give now. This is a square minus 2ab plus b square. This is the one I'm trying to make. So I should give plus 2 square, isn't it so? Now when there is 2 square and I have to make it minus 1, I shall also give minus 5 here. Is this clear to you? Clear? See, these equation must not change. I'm just changing the components to make one part of it a perfect square. Am I comprehensible? Is this clear to you, or do I need to explain it once again?
Sir, where do you get 5?
Because I did 2 square, that is 4, but I need minus 1 here in the constant. So I need to subtract 5, na? Because 4 minus 5 is 1. This is what I said. You cannot change the equation. You have to adjust the values like this. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So now this entire thing that you have, this becomes x minus 2 whole square minus 5 is equal to 0. Okay. So you have x minus 2 whole square is equal to 5. So you have x minus 2 is equal to plus minus root 5. So you have x is equal to 2 plus minus root 5. These are the two roots. So the two roots of the equations are 2 plus root 5 and 2 minus root 5. Is this clear to you? Yes? You can apply the same things. This sum of roots, you will be seeing it is minus b by a. Product of roots, you will be seeing this is c by a. These things will be just going on like this. So there is nothing so, genuine about that. So this is what you are learning in this chapter, is a different way of finding the roots. Is this clear, or shall I give one more example? One more example, let's try. Suppose you have 2x square plus 6 root 3x minus 60 is equal to 0. This was asked in boards 2011 and it has been repeated in 2015. 2015 was the year when I gave my boards. So let us check. Although here they told to use the quadratic formula, but plugging in quadratic formula would be very easy. I want you to show the method of squaring. This is called method of perfect square. Why? Because you are making perfect square from it, isn't it so? So here you have 2x square, so you better take the 2's off. So if you take the 2's off, you will be getting x square plus 3 root 3x minus 30 is equal to 0. So you are left with the equation x square plus 3 root 3x minus 30 is equal to 0. So you do x square plus 2 into x into, you have to do 3 root 3 by 2, or else it won't come out to be 3 root 3x. So 2ab plus b square minus b square minus 30 is equal to 0. Is this arrangement clear to you, everybody? Clear to everybody? Please respond. Otherwise, I won't understand whether you are getting or not. This is not an offline class. So, please cooperate. Is this understood?
Yes, sir.
So this becomes a perfect square. So what will be this? X plus 3 root 3 by 2 whole square. Okay. And here it is 3 root 3 by 2 whole square. That means minus 27 by 2 minus 30 is equal to 0. So this will be x plus 3 root 3 by 2 whole square. And here you are getting how much? 30. How much are you getting, right? Sorry, this will be 27 by 4. So you are getting 147 by 4. Okay, if I'm not wrong. Now you just put up this square, and in the right side you will be putting a square root. So it will be root 147 by 2, and you will have a plus minus. So if you take this to here, this side, it will be minus 3 root 3 plus minus root 147 by 2. Is this clear? All of you? The same thing would come if you directly plug in the formula, the quadratic formula. This is just every time I'm just deriving the quadratic formula again and again. This is method of perfect squares, because I'm making a perfect square anyhow here from a quadratic equation. Is this method clear to you? Clear, na?
Yes, sir.
So solve this by quadratic formula. X plus 1 by x is equal to 3, x not equal to 0. So let me solve this. This is very easy. You just need to plug into the formula. So this becomes x square plus 1 is equal to 3x. This becomes x square minus 3x plus 1 is equal to 0. Here a is equal to 1, b is equal to minus 3, c is equal to 1. So if you talk about the roots, that will be x is equal to minus b plus minus root over b square minus 4ac by 2a. That will be 9 plus minus root over 9 minus 4 by 2. That is 9 plus minus root 5 by 2. Okay. So one root will be 9 plus root 5 by 2. And the other root will be 9 minus root 5 by 2. Is this clear to you? Is everybody dead in the class, or can't they respond anything? Let me check. What happened to all of you in the class? Anushka, Priyanka, Sanu, nobody is responding. Am I audible to you? We learned what is a quadratic equation, what are the roots of the quadratic equation, and by factorization also you learned it before how to solve. Now we learned a new way of finding general solutions to a quadratic equations, where we need not rely on the middle term factorization. which was very limited in its nature. Now you have, suppose you have an equation x square minus 3x plus 4 is equal to 0. So you do it like this, x square plus 4x, or not like that, x square minus 3x minus 4 is equal to 0. So x square minus 4x plus x minus 4 is equal to 0. X times x minus 4 plus 1 times x minus 4 is equal to 0. X minus 4 into x plus 1 is equal to 0. So I get x is equal to 4 and x is equal to minus 1. Okay, I get this too, x is equal to 4 and x is equal to minus 1. Now how to realize what does it even mean? That is what I'm going to show you right now. I have an equation, suppose x square minus 3x minus 4, okay? Are you seeing this is the graph of the equation? Are you seeing? Are you also seeing that this equation is cutting the x-axis at these 2 points, minus 1 and 4? This is the meaning of the roots that we got, minus 1 and 4. Is this clear? So the roots of the quadratic equation are nothing but the point at which the graph intersects the x-axis. Is this clear? So these roots are the points where the graph intersects x-axis. Am I clear on this? Is this clear to you? Any equation you take for like that. Suppose I have x square minus 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. Can you find its roots? Can you find the roots of this equation?
Yes.
What will be this? Find it out quickly. Why is it taking so much time for this simple thing? Yes. So here you see now, this is x square minus 2x plus 1, that is x minus 1 whole square is equal to 0. So basically you have x minus 1 into x minus 1. So you have this is 1 and this is 1. So basically what can you infer from this? Can you give me an idea of how this graph will be? Can you give me an idea? Huh?
Straight line.
No. This will be quadratic equation only, just like this. What will be the difference? You yourself can notice. Wait a minute. This is giving some trouble right now, serious trouble. I think I need to update this software. Anyway, so suppose I have x square minus 2x plus 1. Are you seeing that this graph is touching at only one point? Are you seeing this? This is the meaning of the root when the roots are equal. When the roots are unequal, they are spreaded like you saw at minus 1 and 4. If the roots are equal like this, they are just, the graph is just touching the x-axis. Am I clear to you?
Yes.
And in the other case, what happens is, let us see. So can anybody recall the quadratic formula? The Sridhar Acharya's formula, can anybody recall? Okay. Now you see, this term you are seeing, b square minus 4ac, this is called discriminant, or D. You can also call it as D. Why is this term called as discriminant? Because these terms helps us to distinguish between the roots of the equation. You see, if this discriminant is positive, if this discriminant or b square minus 4ac, if this d is positive, are you seeing that the roots are distinct? You are having the roots as minus b plus minus root d by 2a now. Is that it? So if d is positive, can you understand that the roots will be unequal? Is this apparent from this? So d greater than 0 means roots are unequal. Okay. Now comes the fact when this d is equal to 0. You just have to check this one. What are we trying to see? We are trying to see the nature of roots, how the roots are. So if d is equal to 0, then this x will be only minus b by 2a, isn't it so? Are you understanding? So for b square minus 4ac equal to 0, if b square minus 4ac equal to 0, then the roots are equal. Okay? Just like this. Here you see b square is minus 2 whole square, that is 4, minus 4ac. Are you seeing the discriminant is equal to 0? So do you also recognize why the roots are identical here? Simply by looking at a quadratic equation, just by finding this discriminant, you can judge the nature of roots, whether they're equal or unequal. And last but not the least, can anybody tell me what will happen if d is less than 0? See, Shikha, can you comment something? What will happen if d is less than 0?
0.
D less than 0, that means something is negative inside the square root. Can it exist? Can it exist? So we'll be saying that it has no real roots. Okay? There is no real roots. Yes, of course. Like just for example, see, when there were roots, you were seeing that the two were cutting like this, isn't it so? Two different points on x-axis. When the roots were identical, you saw that it was just touching at one point. Did you see this? Did you see this? Now, when roots are unequal, it will never touch the x-axis. Forget about cutting. It will be always above the x-axis or below the x-axis. Are you getting my point? When it cuts the x-axis, it has two real roots. When it just touches the x-axis and at one point, this has only one real root, or both the roots are identical. And if it does not touch at all, then we say the roots are imaginary. Is that clear? So just by looking at this factor d, which is called the discriminant. Now, do you understand why this is called as discriminant? This is called as discriminant because this term is used to distinguish. This term is used to distinguish between the nature of the roots. If this term is greater than 0, then the roots will be unequal. If d is equal to 0, then you will have equal roots. And if d less than 0, you will have no real roots. Is this clear to you? Solve the problem. This is almost the ending of this chapter. Find the value of k for which the roots of the quadratic equation kx into x minus 2 plus 6 equal to 0 are equal. Do it. Okay. So let's come to the solution. So this equation can be rewritten as kx square minus 2kx plus 6 is equal to 0. Isn't it so? The roots have to be equal. That means the discriminant must be equal to 0. So if the discriminant must be equal to 0, that means b square minus 4 AC must be equal to 0. That means 4k square minus 24k is equal to 0. So you have k times or 4k times k minus 6 is equal to 0. From here you have two values of k. One is k is equal to 0, one is k is equal to 6. If you just look a little bit here, if k is equal to 0, then this will no more be a quadratic equation. Because for k is equal to 0, it would no more be a quadratic equation. So k is equal to 6 is the valid answer. Is this clear to you? Is this clear, Ray?
Yes, sir.
Everybody?
Yes, sir.
So this pretty much ends the chapter. These are the types of questions that will be facing here in this chapter. One more kind of problem that you easily can, if you know this concept, these are word problems. How are word problems? Just like you solved on linear equation in two variables, just like that here. So suppose it is said, if the sum of two natural numbers is 27 and their product is 182, find them. Now in linear equation in two variables, you would have assumed one number to be x and the other number to be y. So you would have x plus y is equal to 27 and xy is equal to 182. Then you would be doing 2xy, then you will be doing x plus y whole square, and you will be doing all those nonsense. But here with quadratic equation, this can be very easily solved. How? Suppose you take one number to be x. Can you say the other number will be 27 minus x? Can you say this?
Yes, sir.
Because the sum of two numbers is 27. So if one is x, the other is 27 minus x. With that, you are getting this, the product of these two numbers is 182. Is this a quadratic equation in itself? By solving this quadratic equation, you can easily find the value of x. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting how to solve the word problems on this? Okay. Then if I say that solve this problem, try this. The sum of two consecutive even numbers is 340. Find them. So if x is 169, apply your common sense. Is 169 square and the consecutive even number square will add up to 340?
Sir, can I
Ye
say
porda ta khule de. Yes.
one number is 12 and the other is 14?
Good. So this is very easy once again. See here, the crux of the question is just this. If you assume one number to be x, the other number would be x plus 2, isn't it so? So the sum of two consecutive even numbers always differ by 2. The sum of two squares of 2. Oh my god. Oh, that is the reason why you are finding 169, Shikha. My god. I'm so sorry. Sum of squares of two consecutive numbers is 340. I'm so sorry, Shikha. So,
Sir, I'm saying
Snigdha, sorry. I'm so sorry. So x square plus 4x plus 4 is equal to 340. So basically 2x square plus 4x minus 336 is equal to 0. If you will be solving it, you will be getting x is equal to 12 as one value and x is equal to minus 14 as one value. Now minus 14 cannot be an even number. I mean not a positive even number. So you take x is equal to 12. So if x is equal to 12, the other number is bound to be 14. Isn't it so? Is this clear?
yes, sir.
So this is how you solve the word problems and the chapter is complete. On a short note of revision, what you have learned, what is a quadratic equation? How are its zeros? And how to solve it? By factorization, by quadratic formula, and by making a perfect square, thereby approaching at the quadratic formula. Then you learn the nature of roots. Just by seeing the discriminant, you can judge on how the nature of roots will be. You don't even need to solve the quadratic equation in order to know whether the roots are equal or the roots are unequal or the roots does not exist in real. After that, we finished the lecture with some word problems. So this is all about today's class.